pace setters for much of the season. Now Bradford City and Cardiff City collide in a contest of huge consequence at the top of League One. The Bantams' first home game of 2026 is a blockbuster against the leaders, of whom they remain within range. 6 points behind, but with a game in hand, and the chance to do a first ever league double over the Bluebirds, which would tighten things up at the top yet further.
Expected to be a long-term absentee with a groin injury that forced him off against the O's last week, but he hasn't trained this week. Here's Robertson, opens up for him. And Turnbull. Turnbull again, delaying the shot, but does find a fabulous finish. Oh, that's a moment of real quality. And the leaders in front at Bradford. That is some way for David Turnbull to score his first League One goal of the season. An awful lot to do here. That shifted it back onto his right boot, taking Pointon out of the equation in the process, just to open up that glimpse of goal, and then he found the sweet spot to leave Walker with little chance. Here's Winton again, looking at more familiar terrain just in front of the back four. Turnbull, Winton, touch for Salak, and it opens up for the shot. Just the one goal for Alex Robertson so far this season, was the winner at home to Exeter City on Boxing Day. A sight of goal, without troubling the target. Again, it's found Robertson. He's got a bit of room. Now Willock. Outside of him is Bacon, and Bacon goes down. You can see by his reaction what he was claiming there. Still the possibility perhaps for Cardiff City before we come back to that one. There's Tanner. Sees that blocked behind. Well, the referee had a fairly decent view of that, didn't he, as Joel Bacon went down in the box. He can have another look. Even Baldwin, the defender who was beaten. Cardiff had to settle for the corner. It eventually followed. He works it well. Tanner in low and all the way in. 2-0 Cardiff City. Chambers claiming the touch to it. They've doubled their advantage here. Callum Chambers, the captain, taking the acclaim. Just reacted the quickest, I think. The nearest of touches to it, but an important touch. Here's Power. Neville. Oh, he's still going. Josh Neville's done really well and then flashes it in. A little bit unfortunate not to reap a greater reward there. And that's what Bradford City need, really, to inject the urgency. He scored at Blackpool in the previous game, his first of the season. Indeed, his first for the club. That's one back. Pointon taking over, taking on the shot. Was inviting for him for a moment, wasn't it? He has the quality to make it count from there. Not quite this time. But Bradford City are certainly finding more of a threat as the first half heads towards its conclusion. Looking for goal number 8 of his season, Bobby Pointon, the boyhood bantam. That's Power. Toure will get it back again. He's on the move here. Ibu Toure. Tyreek right outside of him. 3 or 4 in the penalty area. Cross didn't get that far, but it will be a corner. It is Bradford City finishing this first half very much on the front foot now. In goes the corner towards Sarcevic. Till Tranka reacts and reach it. That would have been something special. Not quite. Incredible attempt at improvisation from the Jamaican international centre-back. Got his boot to the ball and it didn't miss by much, did it? Should be helping it on to Pointon to provide the cross. Osho's clearance. There was as much height though as there was distance on it. Powers underneath it. Now Murphill taking on Bagan. Murphill's done well. Humphrys and over. Better in the build-up from Bradford in creating the chance for Stephen Humphrys, which he couldn't quite capitalise upon. Couldn't quite convert. Murphill did really well. Here is Colwill. Now Wintle. Space for Turnbull. And Turnbull has another go. Didn't quite find the sweet spot to the same extent as earlier in proceedings. This was the save from Sam Walker. And other clubs interested in the former West Ham youngster as well. And here goes Willock, taking on tilt. Still with Willock. Murphill getting back made it more difficult. Prevented the end product. We'll try again here. Osho rising. Catch out there on the line. Bradford survive a huge scare. Got his head to it. Diverted it goalwards. I'm not sure he knew an awful lot about the clearance actually. Next power on the line. This is better for Bradford. This is Louis Sibley in space. And still Sibley. Getting back was Tanner to help out Wintle. Because Sibley was away from Ryan Wintle for a moment. They've opted to take this one short for Sibley. And it is delivered more threateningly and directly. It's cleared only as far as Murphill. And then brilliant from Metcalf! Bradford City back in it! Jensen Metcalf onto that inner flash. And just like that, the picture changes somewhat. Struck every bit as sweetly by Jensen Metcalf as they Turnbull effort into that same goal in the first half. Similarities in the goals that they've traded. That is only his second for the club. It's an excellent effort. Gets away with that one. From Metcalf. Power to Sibley. Deeper delivery from Sibley, and it was a deliberate attempt to volley it in from Harrison Ashby. Just didn't catch it cleanly. Nearly turned into something else entirely. Such is the way it came off his boot. And attempting to introduce himself to the Valley Parade supporters in style, but it didn't quite happen. It well here. Metcalf again. Jensen Metcalf swiftly back on his feet. Not too much really by way of any appeals there. Still the danger though. Plenty in the middle. We needed to be a bit better. It's returned more threateningly by Metcalf. It comes for Sibley. Didn't quite strike it as intended. Didn't quite strike it as required, Louis Sibley. Jensen Metcalf's ball in, somehow evaded everybody in the middle, but off the outside of the boot, not threatening from what was a threatening position, certainly, for Louis Sibley. We play on now only at the referee's discretion. Well, it has stayed up there, of course, in the circumstances. They forced the throw here for Bradford City. but there won't be time to take it. That's the full-time whistle. And what a vital victory for the League One leaders as Cardiff City extend their advantage at the summit of the division and put 9 points between themselves and the Bantams. Victory for the Bluebirds in the end, but they had to hang on and do it the hard way in the second half. Brian Barry Murphy's side continue their impressive campaign atop the League One table with victory here over one of their rivals. It's finished Bradford City 1, Cardiff City 2.